You don't need revenge. Time has better aim. People think karma is loud. Mostly it's quiet. It shows up as patterns they can't outrun, and consequences they can't talk their way around. Watch closely. The mask slips, the circle closes, and what they sent out starts coming back, on schedule, not on demand. Stay with me. 5 indicators. No mysticism. Just cause and effect catching up. 1. Their circle starts shrinking and mirroring them. At first, nothing looks different. They're still loud, still performing, still collecting people. Then the pattern shows. Invites slow down. Texts stop getting answered. The easy yes becomes a cautious, "I'll let you know." Not because everyone turned cold, because trust math finally caught up. At work, watch the small moves. Fewer people copy them on emails. Stakeholders route around them for sensitive tasks. They're present in meetings, but not in decisions. Projects come with less autonomy, more oversight. Their name moves from go-to to be careful. In friendships, the tone changes. Plans happen without them. Stories about them arrive with disclaimers. Just so you know. People who once defended them now stay silent. Silence is data. It says, enough evidence. No need to argue. In family, it's distance without drama. Check-ins shrink to logistics. Favors turn into boundaries. Conversations get shorter, cleaner, less personal. Access narrows to what's necessary. This is karma without smoke and thunder. Reputation compounds in both directions. You can talk your way into a room once or twice. You stay there because you're reliable. Break that enough times and the room adjusts, not with a speech, with absence. Notice the mirrors too. They start attracting people who operate the same way. Fast promises, short memories, thin loyalty. That feels like momentum at first. Then it becomes a cage. Everyone wants something. No one will cover for anyone. Stress leaks. They complain more. They blame haters, politics, jealousy. But the outcomes line up the same. Smaller circles, shorter leashes, fewer second chances. There's a practical reason this happens. Healthy people protect their calendars. Teams protect their deliverables. Families protect their peace. When someone burns those 3 long enough, the system quietly removes the lighter. Your role isn't to cheer the losses. It's to understand the pattern so you stop looking back. You don't need to track every cold shoulder. Just note the drift. Fewer doors opening, more rules applied. That's indicator 1. If you need one line to carry, trust takes the elevator down and the stairs up. They chose the elevator. Now they're climbing. 2. Their story stops matching their results. The language stays big, the outcomes get small, promises land with polish, deadlines land with excuses. After a while, the gap is all anyone can see. At work, the signs are measurable. Status updates are loud, delivery is late. Slides look perfect, handoffs arrive half done. Blocked by X becomes a weekly ritual. References get quieter. New managers stop taking the pitch at face value and start asking for receipts, version histories, commit logs, decision notes. Karma here is simple. The job moves to the person who actually ships. In friendships, the pattern feels familiar. Grand plans, thin follow-through. Birthdays missed, forgot to reply, endless almosts. Trust shifts to the friend who shows up without a monologue. The storyteller keeps the stage. The reliable one keeps the relationship. In family, explanations multiply. I meant to. I'll fix it next time. Meanwhile, the practical roles move around them. Pickups, payments, plans. Authority follows competence. When competence is optional, authority goes elsewhere. Online, the mask is brighter. Motivational posts, new declarations, another big announcement soon. Views may spike, respect doesn't. Audiences are generous, then precise. They track patterns even when they don't comment. Stress rises as the gap widens. Blame spreads. Tools, timing other people. But the same friction shows up in every room. No buffer, no process, no quiet grind. Karma doesn't punish, it exposes. Watch how systems respond. Gatekeepers start asking for smaller scopes. Let's try a pilot. Start with 2 weeks. That isn't punishment, it's containment. The risk gets right-sized to the reality of delivery. Conversations change shape too. Less future talk, more post-mortems. Fewer brainstorms, more audits. The room isn't being negative. The room is protecting outcomes. The correction isn't dramatic. It's boring. Calendars, checklists, confirmations. People who live in results keep moving. People who live in stories keep explaining why. Indicator 2 is the receipts catching up to the narrative. When the gap is wide, opportunities slip to steadier hands. When the gap closes, doors reopen. Slowly, quietly, for those who learned. Line to carry. Outcomes are the reputation you can't edit. 3. Their versions start colliding. Karma doesn't argue, it compares notes. At first the story sounds smooth. Then the seams show. Timelines don't line up. Details shift depending on the audience. A claim at lunch contradicts last week's update. Small at first, then too many to ignore. At work, the paper trail does the talking. Emails, tickets, calendars, version histories, none of them care about charisma. Blocked since Tuesday meets a commit from Wednesday. Didn't see the request meets a red receipt. Waiting on approval meets a green light from 2 weeks ago. People stop debating and start linking. Meetings add notes. Threads move to group channels. Summaries end with, confirm if this is accurate. The room quietly shifts from conversation to record. In friendships, the edges are personal. A story told to one person doesn't match the story told to another. The correction used to be gentle. Now it's silence, side glances, or a quick, "That's not what you said." Trust doesn't explode, it drains. In family, the calendar exposes the narrative. Couldn't help collides with free time posted everywhere. I forgot collides with what was remembered for someone else. The benefit of the doubt gets smaller. Logistics get tighter. Access gets scheduled, not assumed. Online, old posts resurface. Receipts live forever. The audience that once applauded becomes the archive that compares. Views may still arrive. Belief doesn't. What this costs them is bandwidth. Maintaining multiple versions is a full-time job. More spin, more blame, more course-correcting mid-sentence. Output falls while narrative work rises. Stress shows up as urgency, defensiveness, over-explaining. Not because the world is unfair, because the math is. Systems respond with containment, shorter contracts, tighter scopes. Let's put it in writing. Send a recap after. This isn't punishment, it's insurance. Watch for the moment the mask slips. A quick temper when asked for clarity. A joke when asked for proof. A sudden pivot to character talk when the question is about process. Those are tells, not of evil, of exhaustion. The story costs more than it pays. 4. Systems start. Saying no, personal charm can delay consequences. Systems don't. Policies tighten around them. Deposits required, prepayment only. Scope in writing. Trial period first. The leeway they lived on gets replaced by rules. At work, watch the guardrails appear. Access shifts from edit to comment. Approvals move up a level. Budgets release by milestone, not promise. Calendars fill with checkpoints they didn't used to need. Weekly syncs, change logs, sign-offs. Not punishment prevention. The risk is being managed in daylight. With vendors, credit turns into cash terms. Net 30 becomes pay to start. Rush requests are declined unless the last rush was handled cleanly. Discounts vanish, standard rates apply. The handshake is now a contract. Facilities get formal. Badges replace the nod at the door. Conference rooms require bookings, not "I'll just grab it." Equipment moves only with tickets. Security follows process, not personality. In friendships, logistics go structured. Group threads instead of side deals. Shared docs for plans. Arrival windows get firm. "Let me know" becomes "confirm by Thursday or we set without you." Late used to be absorbed. Now it is rescheduled. In family, the default flips. Favors rotate instead of landing on the same pair of hands. Money gets tracked. Pickups and drop-offs have names and times. Just this once meets a calendar that remembers. Stress rises in the face of friction. Why so many steps? Why don't you trust me? Because steps are cheaper than the mess. Trust returns when outcomes do. This is karma without theatre, cause and effect written into process. When behavior costs others, systems make the cost visible and upfront. Less access by default, more verification on contact. Consequences arriving on schedule. 5. Rest becomes restless. When consequences arrive, stillness stops being rest. Silence turns into a mirror, and the noise begins. Watch the pace spike in ordinary life. More plans than capacity. New ideas before old ones finish. Constant pivots, rebrands of the same approach, meetings about meetings. Momentum is measured in motion, not in movement. At work, activity outnumbers outcomes. Initiatives multiply, deliverables stall. Calendars fill with check-ins that replace actual progress. Announcements grow, handoffs shrink. The backlog expands while the scoreboard stays flat. Colleagues adjust by narrowing scope and asking for smaller, concrete next steps. In friendships, attention replaces presence. Grand gestures appear after long absences. Apologies arrive as speeches, followed by short runs of effort and a return to the usual pattern. Direct questions: did the call happen? Was the pickup made? Meet topic changes or future promises. Invitations shift from open-ended to structured. Confirm by Thursday or the plan proceeds. Trust responds only to repetition. In family, energy swings hard. Big commitments materialize overnight. Routines vanish a week later. Care becomes a sprint, not a practice. Those around them stop negotiating with hope and start scheduling with clarity. Names on tasks, dates on decisions, quiet follow-through. The body keeps the ledger. Sleep grows light. Jaw stays tight. Irritability rises over small asks. Shortcuts appear. Caffeine, constant busy work, anything that blurs reflection. Not villains, just bills arriving. This is karma without spectacle. The weight of unresolved choices turning quiet time into pressure. When a room is still, the pattern gets loud. So every room must be loud. Systems respond the way they always do. Smaller scopes, clearer steps, fewer shortcuts. It isn't control for control's sake. It's containment until consistency returns. There is a fork. Some choose it. Own the pattern. Make repairs. Let outcomes get boring again. Lists, routines, receipts. For those who don't, the treadmill speeds up. More talk to cover less trust. More motion to hide less movement. This indicator is simple. Rest stops working. Stillness exposes what performance used to hide. When peace is unavailable in ordinary days, Consequences have arrived. You don't need to chase payback. Keep your center. Let results speak. If this helped, like the video, share it with someone who needs steadiness, and subscribe to the Silent Ethos for more Stoic psychology and quiet power. Comment the indicator you've seen most. The patterns are the proof.